Hey guys, it's Matt. Um, I'm just sitting in the garage here, and I just realized I had some stuff to say, so I figured I might as well just record it and say it. My last one was kind of goofy. It was about like I can't talk perfectly all the time. I'm not the best conversationalist, but I try my best, and I don't know if I give a shit about how I fucking sound. I care more about the info that comes out. Like I'm more about like actually understanding how the world works and if possible try to help others understand it, because it seems like we have this epidemic of people not really understanding some basic common sense stuff, especially to stuff like trauma and whatever um, these concepts are. So yeah, so basically it's just my attempt to try to like explain some stuff and you know use your mind, see if you agree with me, see if you disagree, see what you think, but like also just listen, because I'm kind of good at this stuff, so might as well hear me out at least and just assess, just like basically just here's a new perspective, because we're used to the chiropractors and the psychologists and all these fucking idiots saying the same bullshit over and over and over, and they don't get the results. Or the chiropractors are like, hey, come to my office. I'll fix you up and fix your back. And then you go, and what do? They crack your back. And then what happens? You feel better for all of 20 seconds to about 20 minutes. And then next day you wake up with the same fucking problems that you had the day before. And you just spent all this money and time and you trusted them to fix your back issues, and they didn't fix your fucking back issues. If that's happened to you, just know you're not alone. The same thing happened to me. I have 19-degree scoliosis, like really bad scoliosis, and I used to go to this chiropractor, and he would talk so assuredly of himself. This guy Joe Betts, he's a fucking idiot in Boise, and he would act as if he knew what he was actually doing, and he would, give me these adjustments, and then I was still in severe pain. I was still like in severe pain after doing these fucking adjustments, and it just made me realize that you have to be careful who you trust, because they act as if they know what they're doing, and then the results show that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And then you find out from other people that have been going to chiropractors that a lot of these guys, they did not get fixed. They didn't get helped, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So, yeah, so basically, there's that. And, yeah, I got them worried they can hear me through the walls there. Anyway, so, yeah, so there's that. So I'm just going to go on a little rant. Yeah, they're watching TV. Okay, so I'm just going to go on a little rant because I want to explain to you how the world works, or how just the basics, the fundamentals. And then off of the fundamentals, you can build the bigger concepts. So here's kind of what I've learned, is that trauma sucks. A lot of people, Jesus, this light is fucking atrocious. Is trauma is, anyway, whatever. Okay, so basically I gotta get comfortable here. I can't even think straight. So basically, like, one of the things is that, let's see, okay. So a lot of how you feel, Jesus, I'm so uncomfortable. I can't even think straight. There we go, that's better. So one of the big things about understanding how the world works is muscles. Muscles make up 50% of your entire body's muscle mass. That's a lot. That's a lot. And what do we really know about muscles? Well, almost fucking nothing. It's actually an embarrassment how much our society knows about muscles, even though it makes up the majority, almost the majority of your entire body's body weight. But we don't know shit. So I'm going to share you some of my theories, and you can agree, disagree. I don't really give a shit, but it's just food for thought, because it's actually some good info, I think. So here's some ideas. So muscles. In my opinion, muscles are in charge of how you feel. God, I'm gonna turn this fucking light off. Okay, just get this off. It's just so bright. Okay. So in my opinion, muscles are in charge of how you feel. The way the way you move your muscles, the way is plays a large factor in the way you feel. For instance, you want to feel better. What do? You go on a jog. The jog helps you feel, like it's, you go on the jog. How do you feel after the jog? You feel a little better, right? It makes you healthier, they say. It makes you feel better. But yeah, that's the thing, is that, so muscle usage, when you go exercise, when you go to the gym, when you go playing sports, when you go on a walk, how do you feel afterwards? You feel a little better. You feel an endorphin rush, right? Correct. That's because muscle movement generates a lot of really good feeling. It just gets the blood flowing in your body. It makes you feel good. So that's a concept that's really important, in my opinion. If you feel a certain way, what is depression? What's depression? Depression is a feeling. You feel shitty. You feel depressed. You don't feel good. You don't feel alive. You feel depressed. You feel like your heart is pumping less blood. You feel like your lungs are taking in less oxygen. You feel like your body is contracting inwards and feels small. It's a feeling, and it feels not good. Jesus, this thing sucks. So, how do we change the way we feel? Well, you got to move. Because if you exercise properly, you feel better. It's all a muscle-related thing. If you move properly and you move adequately enough, then you can feel the good feelings you want. And if your body doesn't feel good enough, it doesn't move enough, then you can't feel the ways you want. So let me break your muscles down. Your muscles can do two things. They can expand and they can contract. All muscles can only expand and contract. What makes you feel good? Well, it's when your muscles expand. When your muscles expand, okay, let me put it this way. So your body has to, your head has to, your legs got to walk, your tongue's got to taste, your skin's got to feel, your throat's got to swallow, your liver filters, everything in your body is a function. Your lungs got to breathe, your muscles got to pump. Your heart pumps blood. What do your muscles have to do? They have to expand. Muscles must get the proper expansions in order for your body to generate a certain degree of health. Okay? I didn't create this. God or nature or whatever the fuck created us, created that. I'm just relaying the message to you guys because this seems to be one of the main things missing in our society, is that your muscles must expand properly in order to generate health in that region of the body and stuff like that. I have other theories I'm going to go into. Anyway, so muscles expand and contract. And if muscles don't get the proper expansions daily that they need, then it leads to certain issues. And when they do get the proper expansions they need, then it leads to certain level of health. Okay? So muscles need to expand. Okay? That's the number one thing. So yoga, great. Yeah, whatever. Sure. Yoga, so good. But I mean, I don't like to say muscles are good and need to expand, therefore yoga's good. No, I don't. That's not how I think, because I like to break things down to their core elements. It's not like yoga. Yeah, just trust the yoga masters, even though I know lots of people that are yoga masters and people that study yoga, and they still struggle with depression. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing or they're bad people, because that's not what I'm getting at. I'm just breaking down things to their core mechanics. If your muscles need to expand in order for you to feel good, which feeling good is the opposite of feeling depressed, right? But if you're still stretching and you're still feeling depressed, then maybe there's a chance you're not stretching properly. Maybe you're not holding the right joints open. Maybe you're not holding the right stretches. That's what I'm here to explain. God, are they listening to me? Of course they are. Fuck this place. Anyway. Okay. So now we agree that your muscles need to expand, hopefully. and they need to and so how do we get the proper muscle expansions? Well, we break things down. Joint muscles attach at joints, so we need to attach. So wherever the joints allow us to move, that's where you move, and that's where how the muscles begin to stretch. So let's break it down. Your spine. Your spine. You don't need. Okay, doctors say this. Doctors say, what's the healthiest thing you can do for your body? They say you can walk. Walking is the healthiest thing for your body. Wrong. Just because doctors say it doesn't mean it's true. Let me explain. You can live without your legs. You can cut your leg off, all the way off, and you can still survive. You can cut your feet off, and you can still survive. You can cut your kneecap off, you can survive. You can cut your hands off, you can survive. You can cut off your elbows, and you can survive. What can you not survive without? Your spine. Your spine is literally what holds all of your internal organs. It holds it upright, and the muscles prop it up so that all the vital organs aren't crashing and squishing into each other. You can live without the other limbs. You cannot live without your spine. Therefore, your spine is the most important joint structure in your body because it's the one that you can't actually live without. Please tell me you agree with that. So, therefore, is walking really the healthiest thing you can do for your body? No. Because it's not spine specific. Yes, walking influences your spine in some ways. Yes, of course. But I'm saying it's not the ultimate movement. Moving your legs does not lead to ultimate health. Moving your spine does. Okay. Your spine has tons of joints. It has 26 joints going from the top to the bottom. From your head to your butt. And all of those 25 joints in between the 26 vertebrae all work in unison to form 3 major motions. There's the swivels in between each of the vertebrae. There's vertebrae, little swivel, vertebrae, swivel. So there's all those little vertebrae and swivels. So it allows you to do this, turn to this side, twist your body to this side, and then up and then down. That's it. Those 3 little motions. 3 little motions. But the thing is that so you have hundreds of muscles, and scientists argue whether what's a muscle, what's not, because your spinal muscles are really bonkers. If you haven't, I highly recommend you look at pictures of your spine so that you can see what they look like, but you don't have to, and whatever, but I do, because I love muscles. Muscles are fascinating to me, especially because they're kind of a big deal in your body, and it's kind of important to know how they work. Unlike chiropractors, unlike psychologists think, I actually think muscles are important to understand. So, I'm crazy, right? So, anyway, so I look at pictures of how the joints move. I like to figure out in my body how they move. I like to see how what muscles are in there and stuff like that. I don't know, just check it out. Whatever. So one thing I learned is that your spine moves in 3 major directions: side to side and up and down. Now, here's another interesting thing about muscles, is muscles need to expand and contract, and they must expand properly before they contract in order to promote certain health, certain whatever. When you move your body up in a power position, and you lift your body up, or you move to the side or something like that, anything that expands your body outwards, it opens up your body so that your lungs can breathe better, your heart can beat better. It just kind of opens everything up. So all those vital organs have are better at they can function more efficiently. They're not squished all on each other. That's open. It opens your lungs. Anyway, I'm going to talk about your lungs in a second. But, yeah. So basically, the whole point of it is if you hold a stretch, a light stretch, not extreme. I'm not talking about yoga here. I'm not saying hold a really intense full body stretch for 3 minutes. No. 4 minutes? No. I'm talking hold a light stretch for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Very light stretch for 10, 20 minutes. And don't focus on these weird yoga fucking stretches that don't even make sense. I'm saying focus on ones that involve one joint system. You don't have that many joint systems in your body. People think there's so many different joints. There's not. You have a spine that moves in 3 directions, and you have a hip. Those are the 2 biggest in your body. Then you have your arm sockets. Then you have your knees. You don't have a ton, and you can live without your arm sockets, and you can live without your knees. So let's not even focus on those. Let's focus on the ones you can't live without. Your spine, okay? If you move those, if you twist it, if you hold the stretch along the way in which your spine allows you to turn into a certain direction, and you hold that stretch, all those muscles expand. When the muscles expand properly, it it allows blood flow. It allows, I mean, God, I don't even know. It allows a lot of things. It allows the muscles to expand, which needs to happen because they're muscles and they have to expand properly. It needs to do a lot of things. Anyways, okay, let me tell you about the main concept of muscles. Is what is muscle memory? There's a lot of talk about what a muscle memory is. Well, let's break life back down to its most basic elements. Muscles can expand and contract. What's memory? What's muscle memory? It's the patterns that your muscles have of expanding and contracting. That's all it is. Your body can only your muscles can physically only expand and contract, and the patterns it has in place to expand and contract previously, it's patterns that have already been in place for years and years, most likely. That's called your muscle memory. Now, but so I have a theory that if you hold a joint and you hold muscles expanded long enough, you can erase your old muscle memory patterns and you can put in new muscle memories. So basically, like, you just hold a stretch long enough and you hold it there until the muscle memorizes that it's not used to being held stretched out that long. It doesn't have to be intense of a stretch. It doesn't have to be held, like, the joint doesn't have to be like pulled all the way. A light stretch, but for such a long duration that eventually it goes, oh, it's okay to stay expanded for that long, for that amount of duration, and boom, a new muscle memory forms. Your body is filled with muscle memory. In fact, let's go through trauma. What is trauma? Trauma is patterns in your body that it's basically like patterns of your muscles contracting before they get the proper expansions. Basically, your body is just tightening up, and all those joints, they're not letting you kind of sway enough, and they keep tightening and tightening and tightening, and then they never get the proper expansions that they need, aka trauma. Basically, so let's say this: you had something traumatizing happen in your life, and your body kind of went into shock. You got in a car accident, and you stopped on the side of the road, and you were so nervous, so scared. Your body kind of just like shut down a little bit, just a little bit. You kind of went into a lower power state. You kind of like looked down. You were a little nervous. You're just kind of like, your body is like tense. And then you kind of like curl up into a ball maybe in your bed after it happens. You go to your bed, you curl up in a ball, and you're just kind of like crying or something. And you stay in that state for a long enough time. What happens? You're in that lower power state. Your body is physically kind of just scared and timid and kind of just, just like, it's kind of like folding inwards a little bit. If you hold that long enough, your body memorizes that pattern. And now, after the trauma even occurred, even a month later, 2 months later, a year later, after it's already happened, you're not scared of that car accident anymore. But the trauma can stay with you forever, for years. Because what happened was your body memorized in that moment that pattern that stayed there. Sorry, there's a watch going off. So your body memorized that pattern that it was in, that lower power state, the kind of like of scaredness, and the muscles kind of froze into that position and memorized it. And now, even though you're not in that scary state anymore, your muscles continue to pull you into that state because it memorized that pattern from that moment. And you're continuing to experience that same thing over and over and over because your muscles keep pulling you back into that physical position, and that physical position makes you feel like you're back in that state. The position of your body matters. If you don't believe me, don't ever exercise again. Exercise is moving your body, and moving your body makes you feel good and alive overall, for the most part. And what makes you feel even better than good and alive? Holding muscles expanded and not letting them contract. Hold the core part of your body, aka your spine, because it's the only one you can't live without. Hold that where the joints allow it, joints, hold it open in the areas in which it allows long enough so that the muscles now memorize that better pattern, with the muscles expanded, and then you'll physically feel not only not bad, not only good, but great. You can actually feel phenomenal inside. Your body will feel so fucking good because it's not used to being actually getting the proper expansions it needs in those core areas. It's used to just letting the old muscle memory patterns fire off, just triggering you to feel every day about the same way you've always felt your whole life because the muscle memory just repeats unless you put in place a new muscle memory. So that's kind of a little bit of everything. Is that muscle memory thing is a really big deal. And chiropractors, now you know more than chiropractors, because chiropractors don't know. I don't think I've ever heard them say, hold a core spinal stretch long enough until muscle memory resets, and then your body will start naturally moving back into those higher power states, naturally, and stuff like that. So I've never heard them say that. They just crack your back and and assume that we're so stupid that we actually think that they fixed us, which is hysterical. I mean, it's almost an embarrassment. The chiropractic concept is an embarrassment to us. So anyway, if you don't want depression, remember, hold stretches wherever your spine allows, which is 3 directions. Hold it long enough until you feel the desirable feelings. Either stretch in any direction. If you do all 3, if you do one for 20 minutes, the next for 20 minutes, the next for 20 minutes, you will maximize your good feeling. And if you hold it long enough, it memorizes that. Hold it for an hour maybe, and your new muscle memory kicks in. And then you are now in that state from now on, and you are now feeling the opposite of trauma for the rest of your life, basically, because again, it's muscle memory. It just memorizes whatever's put into it. Your muscles you're born with certain muscle memories programmed in, and you can reprogram them to be whatever you want. You can program trauma into you right now. Just stare at the floor. Just stare at the floor, and let all your muscles droop and contract and get small, and let your lungs collapse and your heart, condense until you hold that long enough till all those muscles memorize that new pattern, and you will be stuck in trauma. Or do the opposite, and you'll be stuck in ecstasy. And you'll have good days. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say. So that's the core concept behind how your body works. Any feeling related thing is a muscle related thing. If they tell the psychologists they think it's all in the brain. Oh, you feel depressed. Oh, you feel traumatized. Oh, you're bipolar. You feel manic, and then you feel this. Oh, it must be a brain thing. Feelings don't exist in the fucking brain. It's not a brain fucking thing. It's a muscle related thing. Again, if you don't believe me, stop exercising. You are wasting your time. Every time you feel good from exercising, just remember, you're wrong. You don't feel good from exercising because you believe it's all in the brain. Don't be dumb. It's a feeling related thing is a muscle related thing. That's why it takes up majority of your body's weight, because it's kind of important how you feel. And when you feel good and when your body is healthy, it rewards you by feeling good. So when you stretch properly and the muscles get the proper expansions, remember muscles do 2 things, expand and contract. If they get the proper expansions, they become healthy. When they're healthy, they reward you by feeling good. That's your body's way of saying, do more of that, please, for the love of fucking God. Just do with the stuff that's healthy. We will reward you by feeling good because we need that. It's weird how muscle memories really don't serve us. I don't really know the purpose of negative muscle memory. It's a weird one. Whatever. All I know is I've cured a lot of my issues in my life. I have 19 degree scoliosis. I had severe back pain growing up and all that stuff. Severe back pain, like really bad. I used to sit in bed and just cry. I remember I could barely do a lot of my jobs that I had, like my first jobs, because I was just standing up doing whatever, and I would be in so much back pain I physically couldn't even think straight and stand straight. And at 27 years old, I discovered this muscle thing, and I held those stretches long enough, and my posture has, I don't like the word posture, whatever. My back has felt phenomenal. I've had 0 back issues since I started that, and I had 19 degree scoliosis. I had it so bad I would cry at night sometimes because my back was so fucked and weird, and I'd be fucking squirming in bed, just so mad and frustrated that I was in back pain. Now, nothing. The chiropractor couldn't solve it, but I did by holding those essential stretches. Yeah. So yeah. And then also, I used to struggle with a little bit of depression. I used to just be at home, just whatever. I just feel anxious and nervous. Just nothing was even happening. There was nobody even around me. I just feel a little off and be like, God, I feel like I need something. I feel like I need to go be around people. I need validation. I need, God, I don't know, my high mind would race. Ever since I started these stretches, I feel so good. I feel like I'm always in a slight runner's high because I've programmed that into my muscle memory. I'm not making this up. I always feel so chill. It's like weird. This has been almost 4 years of this because I was 27. Now I'm 31. And I just like, I always feel good. I have good days. I always feel pretty happy. My back always feels pretty good. I solved a lot of my inner shit. I'm a happy fucking guy. It's weird to say you're happy. You're a happy person because there's not that many happy people in this world. But I'm actually legit. I enjoy my days. I get excited to wake up. I get excited to do things. I'm a happy motherfucker. Oops. So sue me, you know. But whatever. I highly recommend you do these. This video, again, was for you, not for me. I want to make that very clear. I don't want you to think that I'm just spreading my bullshit. I don't give a think whatever you fucking want. All I know is what worked for me and also why it logically worked for me. I broke it down in a logical sequence, not just do this because of God knows why, aka psychologists, aka chiropractors. They just tell you what to do. There's no really rhyme or reason. They don't really explain to you what the fuck's going on. I don't think they know. I've never even heard any of them explain these kind of things to me. So just remember, if there's a feeling you don't want to feel, like, you know, just general stuff, not like, you know, getting cut with glass or anything. I mean, just general feelings. Put your body in a state, in a power position, in a position in which you can breathe properly, and let those core muscles get a good stretch, and let them hold a stretch for a long enough time. Until you feel the desired feelings that you want to feel, you inevitably will, because your body is actually very simple. It's not as complex as people think. So yeah, there's that. I have 1,000 other things to say, but you know, let's just stick with that for now. That's kind of I like to break things down to building blocks. That's a building block. So why do I know that EMDR therapy is already full of shit? It doesn't really work. Everyone's like, but it worked for me. Did it really though? Because you came in diagnosed with PTSD. You underwent EMDR therapy, and guess what you're still diagnosed with? It's not like I had EMDR therapy and now I'm no longer diagnosed with PTSD. No, that didn't happen, because we still have a PTSD epidemic in our country. People come out, this is exactly what happens. They say, I have trauma, or I have PTSD. I went to EMDR. And they go, well, I still technically have PTSD, but it's a lot better now. I was like, oh, I'm sure. I'm not trying to mock them, but I'm just like, I'm sure it's so much better, even though you still have the diagnosis, which is atrocious. The fact that you even have the diagnosis PTSD means that it's severe enough that it actually has to be labeled PTSD. So if you have the label before and you have the label after, that's still a severe enough label of trauma that what did EMDR really do? What did it really fucking do for you? Other than the fact that you wish it worked for you, therefore you just assumed it did. It's a little bit like the concept of Jesus. Did Jesus really exist? Who gives a shit? It was 2,000 years ago. We're basing it off books. But people swear he did, and they create their whole life over it, and they will say this. They'll say, Jesus saved my life. What's the difference between that and EMDR? Did Jesus really save your whole life? Did he really cure all your issues? Because I'm going to tell you something. He doesn't really exist. If you haven't noticed, he's not really around you right now. So did Jesus really save you? I mean, that sounds absolutely bonkers to think that, because he's literally not here right now. So how the fuck did he save you? Just let him in. Just let him in. Hey, just let Jesus in. Just let him in. What does that even mean? Let him in. Just let him in. Just like, I don't know where he is because I don't fucking see him. It's weird. It's all weird. We live in a world of weirdness. But I like to believe in concrete things that make sense. I like to see how the body actually works, rather these fake professionals telling you it works, and then they're getting all these results, and yet you can look all around you and see a world filled with issues, filled with a PTSD epidemic, depression everywhere. I mean, we don't live in a broken arm epidemic. If someone has a broken arm, you break your arm, you fall off your bike, you break your arm. You go to the doctor does a procedure, and then a couple months later, you are literally using your arm again as if it never fucking broke. That's actually fixing something. But when you go to a fucking chiropractor or a psychologist or whatever, or EMDR therapy or whatever, and you have a certain break, and you go there, and you're still diagnosed with bipolar or schizophrenia or EMD or PTSD, that's a sign that it actually didn't work. And I know these are foreign concepts to people in these day and age, but this is just the facts. We do have a depression epidemic in our country. We do have an anxiety epidemic in our country. We do have a PTSD epidemic, but we do not have a broken arm epidemic, because those things are actually fixable. Please, you need to understand this. This is actually very important. Okay? Like, you can't deny the facts. The facts are just the facts. And so anyway. So that's that. So if it's a feeling related thing, if it's something feeling related, your body feels whatever, and the therapy does not involve much movement, just assume the therapy is full of shit, because feeling must come from movement. That's why you exercise, that's why you move, that's why you go on a walk, because you want to feel and think and be healthier and better. It's a feeling comes from movement. Tony Robbins said it first. I will always respect you, Tony Robbins, for that. I don't agree with everything Tony Robbins says. I do agree with a lot of it. I don't agree with all of it. But I will say, he was the one that said, emotion comes from motion. It's his principle number one. And that made a lot of sense to me. It was like, if you want to feel a certain emotion, you got to move and do it. But emotion, I don't really believe in all this thousands of emotions. Like, oh, there's this and that and this and God knows what. No, there's mostly just good emotion, bad emotion, and anything in between. I don't really like to be joy, happiness, excitement, whatever. It's just, sure, they're all different emotions, whatever. I get it. But overall, throughout the day, you feel a range of somewhere between bad and good and something in between those. That's usually where you fall on the spectrum, just some feeling. But if you want to feel the way you want to feel, if you want to perfect it, look to your core joint system, look where it moves, and move that and hold it long enough until you feel all the good feelings that you want to feel. That's how you feel good. That's how you get physically out of depression. You can't think your way out of depression. Trust me, people have tried, and they didn't work. They said, hey, I tried to think positive thoughts. And guess what? They still are diagnosed with depression. It's time to move on from thinking positive thoughts. That clearly didn't solve your problem. It's time to move differently. Try different movement. Fuck yoga. I mean, yoga's not bad, but like, why stick with something that's not causing your depression? They're obviously not holding the stretches long enough to trigger new muscle memories to physically stop depression in its tracks. It's just holding the stretches long enough so that you feel good a little bit, but then it always rubber bands back to the same muscle memory you've always had, and then whatever feeling you've always felt throughout your life, you'll continue to feel. Yoga just doesn't go far enough. These yoga masters, what are they really? They're not really generating the results that they should be generating through stretching. But I did. So just remember, roots. Roots matter. The root of how things work matters. Understanding core mechanics matters. Not just arbitrary bullshit concepts that people feed you. Okay? Not just yoga's good. This is good. This is good. Walking's good. It's like, who cares what this means until you understand why. Why the fuck it's good. Why it matters. Okay? Anyway, I'm just leave it with that. Love you guys. Thanks for listening. This is a 33-minute long video. Holy living shit. I can't believe I just sat here for a whole half hour and just rambled on about God knows what. But thanks for listening, guys. Next time I'll do it in a place that is more pretty and has more nature. All right, I'm going to upload this to YouTube.